So you've hired some talent at your dealership in F&I, but you're worried that they're not going to stay, and your worries are actually validated by the NADA, where 38% of business managers actually quit in their first year. If that's you, then you want to listen to this video. I'm Al Salas, and I'm with F&I Direct, and today we're going to talk about the 6 best practices that you can have in your dealership to retain and maintain talent happy, so that they can continue producing big numbers at your store. So let's get right to it. The first one is to keep your promises. A lot of times we hear about this in the car business, in the automotive industry. Doesn't necessarily have to be cars, but we talk about the promise plan constantly. It's something that comes up, and it's been known that when you are doing a good job, you get these that usually happens when you're hiring them, or when they're producing, where we make them a promise and we don't follow through. It might be something as small as a day off, or being able to take a different day off during the week, or go to a family gathering. But the fact that you say those things might mean little to you, but it means the world to that person. So the first thing that you can do is keep your promises to your F&I employee that's talented. Well, to really all your employees, but this video is about talent and keeping talent. The second thing that you can do to improve at your dealership retention is that you can keep the pay plan that you've put in place at your dealership. More often than not, and we see it all the time, we see business managers that start, and after they start doing a hell of a job based on a pay plan that you put in front of them, and now you want to dial it back. Understood, and I totally get that. And I get why we would want to do that as far as compensation, but the best way to do that is by mitigating the compensation before you actually hire the person. And then after you hire them, if for some reason there's a little bit discrepancy, or you're a little bit off, maybe you can have them do other things in your dealership. Maybe add some responsibility so you can get your money's worth. But changing somebody's pay plan is the #1 reason why people leave. The third reason is to acknowledge and appreciate your employees. Believe it or not, this in the industry that we're in doesn't happen very often, and it's really a sad thing. We have some really talented people with sales and customer skills, and we really need to be taking care of that and recognizing that these are the people that are on our front lines. These are the people that are generating us revenue, and these are the people that, push came to shove, are protecting your dealership as well, from banking, as well as other areas inside of your dealership. So acknowledge them, acknowledge the job that they do. It's not always easy, and they definitely are adding bottom line. And this is again about keeping talent. The fourth thing is to ask for their input in regards to dealership decisions. Now, I'm not talking about managerial decisions that you need to do, or firing somebody, That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you're, thinking about changing a process, if you're looking to do something new in the dealership, if you're really trying to even brainstorm your own ideas inside of your store, then it's better to get the input of the people that are working with you on the front lines. And not only that, they're going to feel included, they're going to feel part of the culture, and they're going to want to work for you a lot more, and put out better work. So number 5 is to respect their schedule. Believe it or not, we see it so often where obviously we understand the industry that we're in, and end of the month is end of the month, and we have to make sure that we're closing the deals and that things are getting done. We live on a monthly basis in this business. But that does not mean that we have to overwork our people. And for some reason, it's been inherited in the business that this has to be, it's almost like paid slavery. And that era is over. People have families, they do, and they want to be there for them. Now, that's not saying that people are less apt to work. That's not at all. People will work if you pay them well. But the point that I'm trying to make is that you can get more performance from a person, even if you pay them a little bit less, just by providing them with more flexibility in regards to their schedule and respecting it. If you tell them that they're going to have a day off, then let them have the day off and don't blow up their phones about, silly little things that can wait. But if it's an emergency, obviously totally understand. And this final thing that you can do to your people in your store to keep them there, even if they're high performers, is to provide them with additional training. A lot of times we see, and we talk about this all the time, but the way that F&I is traditionally trained is that you send them out for a week of training, then they come back and supposedly there is the end-all be-all for F&I training. And F&I takes a lot longer than a day, a week, or a month to master. Likewise, people that have been in the business for quite some time doesn't necessarily mean that they've been trained properly because of that fallacy that it is in the business. So by providing your team with additional training and continuous training, you're able to keep them up to speed with new laws that are going on, compliance that also comes up consistently, making sure that your dealership is protected, but also you're giving them all the tools and strategies and techniques and resources for them to be able to be more profitable for you. Ultimately, it's going to make you more money, and that's what this is all about. So if that's something that you see value in, then you definitely want to schedule a strategies call with us, where we're going to be discussing how you can actually generate an extra 30% more profit in F&I. We have a goal of helping at least 1,000 dealerships generate 30% or more in F&I, and we won't stop until we get it, and we need you to help us get there. We want to provide the value to you to be able to be more profitable in your dealership. I'm your host, Al Salas. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video where we're going to be talking about a bunch more value that you can put in your dealership to increase your F&I profitability. Talk soon. Thanks for tuning in.